So you know how I said I wasn't going to do any more of those axis cube cuts? I lied. I had an idea for a particular arrangement of cuts that would result in more of a diamond shape than an actual cube. I started by tightening up a 3x3 as I usually do, and then I took it over to my bandsaw and I tilted the table until I had it at the right angle. I was just lining everything up with my eyes because that usually gets me a better result than obeying particular degrees. This being kind of like 18 degrees, 17 degrees, something like that. I cut off two adjacent corners and then I flipped everything over to do the same thing on the other side. I wasn't really sure what kind of shape I was going for, I just knew that these planes lined up, so if I cut these areas off and then I just built everything out, I would end up with a kind of diamond shape. But I had to cut off the top and bottom of the puzzle as well, just to kind of cap where everything was going to be extended out to, and so this was the final result. And after a round of filling everything with epoxy sculpt, I took the puzzle over to my belt sander and I began sanding all the faces down. I needed to get these faces pretty close to where I wanted them to be before I could start extending the pieces, that way I'd know where I needed to extend everything. After I'd finished sanding all the faces, I took the puzzle over to my desk and then I disassembled everything. Once I was done disassembling everything, I began preparing all the faces on each of the pieces so that I could start extending them. I started by roughening up all the faces on a sanding block, and then I mixed up some epoxy sculpt and started piling on each of the extensions. After I'd finished with all the extensions and they had all hardened, I took them over to my belt sander and I started sanding the inside faces, that way I could reassemble everything. So I'm running against the clock, adjust the focus here. I've got the core all sanded up, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of round over some of the faces, and then I'm going to reassemble everything, and then I'm going to continue sanding until it's all done. I have to get everything sanded by 10, otherwise the neighbors will get angry. I used a sanding block just to smooth over the pieces, that way I could reassemble everything, and once I put it all together, this is what the puzzle looked like. As you can see, I kinda overextended on some areas, but at least all of this was gonna get sanded down. Remember, it's a lot better to overextend than underextend, although the amount that I've extended by is a little wasteful. After I was finished sanding everything, which was a little harder than I expected seeing as how I'm so used to getting everything into a cubic shape, I was really happy with how the puzzle was looking, and so I disassembled everything and started branding over all of the pieces. And after I finished cutting out all of the stickers, here it is, the puzzle is finally done. I'm really happy with how this shape turned out. It's kinda nice and refreshing almost to have a puzzle that isn't so much a cube and yet still has the cubic 6 color scheme. This puzzle actually reminds me of another puzzle that I made way back in the first series of 30 Days 30 Builds, which was my Windmill Fisher Cube. I think it's kind of cool that I can find similarities and differences between the puzzles that I build, and I also start making so many of them that I end up filling all of the gaps between them until I've pretty much made every single possible combination of cut and extension and all of the puzzles, just all of them. But anyways, I scrambled everything up and I started looking at how the puzzle was turning, and I wasn't too happy with the turning quality. I think it's because the final sanding of this puzzle was a little bit of a rush job and I didn't actually get to finish this puzzle until the following day, so that's why this video is coming up a little late, but I still am pretty happy with how everything was looking. But anyways, I hope you guys like this puzzle. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.